It's happening. The backlash is real, it's loud, and it's coming from inside the House. Donald Trump is facing one of the most intense internal revolts from his base since the beginning of the MAGA movement, not from the media, not from the Democrats, but from the very people who once called him their champion. A new poll has dropped like a bomb. 69% of Americans believe the Epstein client list is being deliberately concealed, and that includes a huge chunk of his own supporters. And instead of riding that wave of outrage and leading the charge for truth, Trump has gone in the opposite direction, calling it a hoax, a distraction, and even suggesting it's part of a Democrat smear job. That's right, the man who promised to drain the swamp now says there's nothing to see here. And his supporters? They're not having it. Welcome back to American Info. This isn't just a controversy. This is a reckoning. Because the Epstein story isn't some niche scandal. It represents everything people hate about the elite. The secrecy, the protection, the untouchable power networks that destroy lives and then walk away clean. For years, Trump stood as the figure who would take them on. He talked about the deep state. He hinted at the truth. He pointed fingers at Clinton, at Hollywood, at the media, and millions believed him. But now, at the very moment when public belief in a cover-up is at its highest, he's backing off. Worse, he's mocking the people who still care. He called it boring. He said people pushing for the truth were gullible, naive, even stupid. He claimed it's a made-up story designed to hurt him. But the numbers don't lie. This isn't a fringe theory anymore. This is the majority view. Almost 7 in 10 Americans believe Epstein's connections, the real ones, the ones with power, are being protected. And they want answers. Instead, they got silence. Or worse, deflection. Just look at what's happening online. Influencers who built careers defending Trump are now asking real questions. Why won't he demand the unsealing of all the Epstein files? Why is he calling it fake when even Elon Musk, who's no stranger to elite power circles, is demanding transparency? Why is Trump attacking his own base for demanding what he once claimed to support? Accountability? And here's the thing that's really setting off alarm bells. Trump isn't just brushing this off. He's treating it like a personal threat, as if the exposure of the Epstein network somehow leads back to him. And whether it does or doesn't, the optics are devastating. Because when someone fights transparency, people start to ask why. What are you hiding? What do you know? Now the MAGA base is split wide open. On one side, diehard loyalists saying this is all part of a master plan, that Trump is playing 5D chess, luring the deep state into a trap. On the other side, real patriots who are tired of excuses, tired of waiting, and tired of being told that asking hard questions is betrayal. These are the people who stood in the rain for Trump rallies, who got banned from social media for defending him, who believe in his mission to clean up corruption. And now they feel abandoned. Some are turning to alternative voices, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Vivek Ramaswamy, even outsider candidates talking about real reform, because they're seeing a pattern. When Trump had the power to act, during 4 years in office, the Epstein list stayed sealed. The documents stayed buried. The accountability never came. And now, in 2025, he's not calling for justice. He's calling for silence. This is a moment of truth, not just for Trump, but for the entire populist right. Because movements don't survive on personality alone. They survive on principles. And if those principles are compromised, if truth becomes optional, if accountability is only demanded when it's politically convenient, then the movement becomes hollow. Fake. Just another brand with a red hat. But the American people aren't stupid. They can see through the spin. They know when they're being gaslit. And when 69% say the Epstein details are being hidden, that's not a conspiracy, that's a crisis. One that needs to be answered. Not dismissed, not laughed off. So the question now isn't whether Trump is still popular. He is. It's whether he's still willing to lead the fight he promised to start. Because if he walks away from this, if he chooses self-preservation over public truth, then many will walk away from him. And that's not betrayal, that's accountability. This was today's important update. As always, we make it absolutely clear. Our videos do not contain any misinformation. We exist to bring you true and verified news, the stories others won't touch, and the truth they try to bury. If this video mattered to you, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you subscribe to American Info. Thank you.